What's going on, YouTube? It's been a couple weeks. I haven't done a video. I've been busy at work. I've had some other things going on, finishing up my covered bridge build, and I may get this video up before I get the final video of the bridge up. I've got pretty much all the siding and roofing done. I just got to put together the hours, it seems like, a video I filmed to edit it down to something worth watching. So anyway, that's in the works, but I'm excited. Today I'm here. I just got back yesterday from the 2-day Sawmill rendezvous down in Middle Georgia outside of Dublin, hanging out with some of the best sawyers of the United States for a couple of days. Had a great time doing that. Got to meet some wonderful people, fun sawing, and great food. But the other thing I was able to pick up this 10-foot extension for my EZ Boardwalk 40. Troy welded this up for me. He's got the same sawmill that I have, and frankly he's the one who is responsible for me getting this sawmill on my radar and finding mine. But he was gracious enough to weld up a 10-foot extension bed for me, so when I get this all put on and done, I will be able to weld 26-foot long logs on my sawmill. So that's pretty exciting. So I've got it here. I trailered it up yesterday. We got rained on a little bit, so we got some surface rust on it. I didn't get some paint on it before we came up, but should be no big deal to wire brush that off and get it painted. But today we're going to get this off the trailer, get it up on the pallet forks and on the tractor, and take it over to my mill and see if we can't get this put together. This is pretty much going to be a two-person job, and I'm here by myself, so we'll see what kind of shenanigans I get into trying to put this thing up there on the mill by myself. So let's see what happens. But right now, let's get this unstrapped and let's get the tractor and get it off the trailer and get it over to the mill. So if you want a close-up, this is 6-inch C-channel, cross welded. It's got the bar that's welded on the top that the saw head will roll down. This is going to be where it ties in to the existing mill right here. The rod overhangs to extend over the other existing bed. And just like my main frame of the mill, we've welded on a jack stand here on each side. So I'm going to put this on jack stands, just like I have the rest of my mill, so I can raise and lower it, move it, should I ever want to do so. And then we got 1.5-inch square tubing up here as well. I'm super excited about it, and this is going to make milling larger logs even easier. Even if I don't do 26-foot long logs, if I've got a 16, it's going to be great to not have to get that log precisely dropped, you know, within inches on the deck. I can put it anywhere I want on the deck, and it's going to be so much easier to mill longer material. So anyway, let's go get the tractor and pick it up. So we've got our extension set down over here. I've got to get it over here mounted onto the rails. To do that, I need to clean up this scrap. This is just a pile I throw over here if I'm milling a beam or 2x or whatever, and I need to get a precise measurement, and I'm just cutting down the cant to get it to the thickness that I want. These are my leftovers. They're kind of live edge, some are square edge. I use those for hunting checks, whatever. I also sell it on Marketplace. People pay pretty silly prices for this stuff. So yeah, so I just toss it over here when I'm milling. But I'm gonna load this up on the forks, get this out of here because I gotta drive my tractor in here. And this kind of gets into my overall vision of where I want to be milling, because the other thing I got to do, these posts are like 12 foot on center. They're always in the way. So my plan is to cut these posts out, reframe a new header, make this a big opening by laminating some 2x12s together. Alternatively, I'm seriously toying with the idea of building a new shed somewhere for it, because this area is a little tight. I'd love to have tractor access on both sides of my mill, because then I can just throw off the cutoffs on this side, pick it up with the grapple. I don't have to handle it as much. Right now, I have to take the cutoffs and I stack them right here behind the camera, and it's a lot of loading, unloading, moving around. It's not as efficient, but it is what it is. So I've actually been toying with, and I just don't know that I have the real estate. I don't have a lot of flat property. I've toyed with coming in here and building the shed here, but it drops off pretty steep down there. I don't know. I'm toying with where I still want to mill. This whole little barn lot is pretty darn tight. If I'm gonna keep it here, this is about the best spot that I have if I keep it up here. Alternatively, there's some other spots I could do, what we call the orchard area, where it's kind of grassy, kind of not, mix of trees. I could go build something down there. It'd be out of sight, out of mind. Trucks and people would have to drive further back, but my equipment would never be seen. Alternatively, if somebody's back there messing with it, I wouldn't see it. Right now, somebody's over here. It's right next to the house, so they have to go through my driveway and everything to get to it. So that's all big picture. I got to figure out where I want it to go, but for now, I do want to get the extension mounted on. I'm going to clean this little spot up and get this cleaned up to where I can get the tractor in here and get it bolted on and put together. And when I snap my fingers, you're going to see how fast I work. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Like I said, all done. Look how fast I work. It's amazing. I'm so efficient. Okay. So now we got to weasel our way in here with the extension on my forks and then bolt it in place right here. So we're gonna see how that goes doing solo. It's not exactly a solo job, so we're just gonna have to see how it goes, see how it works out. Look at that. Lines up good. Look at that. I mean, perfectly lined up. That's crazy. Right. All right, we've got this bolted up. I gotta put a better footing underneath the jacks here, but check that out. 26 foot of rail. Let's see how she does. Out. We are on the new extension. That's pretty awesome. Let's measure it. This is basically measuring from the forward foot. Oh, I need a longer tape. All right, I'm at 24 inches right here. Excuse me, 24 feet. 24 plus 40 inches, so 27 feet. That's pretty good. You know, I didn't even measure this. That's just a hair over 10 feet. So, let's measure the whole rail from the very back. Includes the saw head. That's right, I just measured the saw head. The saw head's another 30 inches, so alright, I'm 20 feet to right here, so that's 30 feet of rail that I've got. So now all I need to do is come in. I need to pull this little walk board out, move that, and put some 2x underneath the jack stands, so I've got a better footing for them. I've got to do that and come in and just wire brush this a little bit of surface rust down and come in here and paint it, and we're good. The only other thing I want to do, I'm gonna go to the manufacturer. I'm gonna order this bolt-on assembly here. It just bolts through. Get a dog clamp right here. So I'm gonna get another one. I could put two. I could put one here and one here. But if I'm doing something this long, probably I can get by with just one right here. And I've got an extra piece of steel, so I may weld up or bolt up another one of these temporary log stops to put in when you're just putting the log up against the deck. So I've got two right now, and I could probably get by with that, but I've got another section of steel that I could come in and just put one more in if I'm doing a really long log, so it won't hurt it. I've got the steel. So put a log stop and then order one of those dog clamps. I think they're about 125 bucks. Get those bolted on and we'll be done. But we've got extended rails and I can start cutting with it right now today as is. And I'm gonna paint this up, put my ratchet sets away and get all of this done and order this, and we're good to go. Pretty darn easy. So Troy, big shout out. Thank you so much for doing this. It's a lot of rail. It really fit together well. There is ever so slight gap at the rod on both sides, but when I roll the saw head over it, you really can't feel it. If worst case, there could be just a slight little gap right there, or maybe just a slight little saw raise or something when milling, but I don't even think it'll show up. I think that'll just roll right over. But we'll know for sure when I get the first log on. I'm waiting for the paint to dry, so I'm not going to do that today. But hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to get out here with a log and mill over the edge of this and see how it goes. All right, there you go. 26-foot logs I can now mill, and I'm very excited. It's painted, everything's fit together, it's all bolted together. The only thing I want to do is give this paint time to dry before I put a log on here, see how it actually mills. But when I run the saw head over, it's super smooth, no issues. So I'm really excited. Can't wait to try this out. My next project is going to be removing this middle post right here and reframing this header so that I can come in here a lot easier with logs, because that post right there is just a nightmare. It drives me crazy. Even with 12-foot logs, I got to finagle my way in there. 16s, or I can get it in there, but man, is it a headache. So I'm going to reframe this to open this up. That'll be really nice. And I got to get the log clamp on here. I got to order that and get that installed. That won't be any big deal, but pretty much ready to go. So super excited. If you haven't, love it if you hit like and subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for watching.